Hello everyone, welcome back. Today is going to be all about expressions. I learned most of it from William Justice and Jake Whip. I will leave their link in the description below if you want to check them out. They know more about this than I do, but I can get around pretty decent. Jake Whip, he has a free cheat sheet that you can get from him and has all the expressions on it. But we'll go ahead and do something here. I may make this into, might do one and then follow it up with another one right after in the same video. Not too sure yet. I'm going to start out with making this rectangle square. I have to use this on-screen keyboard because I'm paralyzed. I can't use my hands and arms. Probably the simplest expression, and we probably all have done it, was connect the width and height together. So I right-click on the width, expression, and like normal, you can carry the pick whip over, and it'll make the expression itself. Anytime you connect anything with a pick whip, it'll make an expression. And you can add values to that and change it, and we're going to do some of that in a minute here. So we're going to delete that because you can actually type these in as well. So I'll demonstrate that. You can double click on them or right click and remove expression. So we'll go ahead and do it again. I'll type it in. And it works the same. But we want to make this square. You would think this would be width here to make it narrower, but it don't work that way. It's backward to me. You have to have height in there. And then we're going to divide that by 1.8. The forward slash is for division. And now the red one is square. Let's do the same thing on the blue one. Right click on the width. Expression. Pick whip over. And divide that by 1.8. We're going to use the transforms to connect these. If you try to rotate it with the rectangles, they'll like rotate on an axis. Doesn't seem to work well. We're going to use transform 2 to put the expressions on. Transform 1 would be the one that you can control everything with. So we'll select that transform and we'll pin it. Get transform 1 and pin it. Now they'll both stay right here for you. Let's start with the second one, which is the one on top, the red one. We're going to move that over to the right. On the screen, it starts from 0 on the far left side and ends at 1. We're going to put the blue one at 0.25 and the red one at 0.75. So we'll right click on center, expression. It'll show the values that you see above, here and here. The first 0.5 is for the X horizontal and the second one's for the Y vertical. We just want to take the first one and we'll put a 7 in front of 5, so it's 0.75. And that moves the red one over to the 3/4 position. Now we'll do this one, the top one. Right click on the center, expression. Now we're going to put a 2 in front of the 5, so it's 0.25. All right, we got them in place. Let's go down here to transform 2. We'll connect the size together. Right click on size. This here, if you're going to type it in, we can delete that and type in transform 1 dot size. I'll go ahead and do that. And they are case sensitive. Now when I move this, they'll both adjust at the same time. And to make that easier, just grab the plus sign and take the pick whip up and drop it right on the size. That's the easiest way to do it. But you can do it either way. I just want to demonstrate it. Now we'll do the angle. We'll right click on the angle. Expression. This one will use the pick whip. And now they rotate. We'll go ahead and animate that with the anim curves. Now if you want one to rotate the other direction, come down here to angle, go multiply, which is the asterisk, -1. And now we have rotating the other direction. Now we'll make one smaller. So we go back to the size. We'll divide it by 2. And now it's half the size. And we can also speed up the rotation. On the angle, multiply it by 2. Now the little one is rotating twice the speed of the blue one, the bigger one. I'll change that to 4. Actually, you can tell by looking at this too. The angle is -720. And this one up here is 360. So adding the asterisk and the 2 doubles the speed. Now I got it going 4 times faster. Now we will raise one and lower the other. We'll go ahead and make them a little smaller. The blue one, we'll go back to the center. The second set, 0.5, is for the Y. So we'll make that 0.8. And the blue one is now much higher if you look in the screen. You don't have to use these exact numbers I'm using. You can put it where you want it. And if we come down here, we'll put in 0.2. And that makes them equal all the way across. And now I'll come back with a different one. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, this is part 2 of the expressions. This one we'll go ahead and make the whole comp up. Might be a little easier to understand. You can follow along. Shift space and S ellipse. And shift space and S grid. And shift space and S render. The first expression we're going to make is the very simple one, connecting the width to the height. We've already gone over that. Now we'll select the grid, the S grid. We want to connect these grid cells, X and Y, to the offset X and Y. Right click on the X grid cell X. And we'll put it in 1 divided by X offset. Again, these are all cap sensitive. Now we'll do the same thing with the Y. Put in 1 divided by Y offset. Now we'll connect the X offset and the Y offset to the width and the height in the ellipse. Right click on the X offset expression. And here we're going to type in S ellipse 1 dot width. And same thing with the Y offset. We're going to put in S ellipse 1 dot height. Now we're going to do some math here and we'll make a gap in between these. Right behind the width, put in multiply 1.3 or 1.5 or whatever you want. The higher you go, the bigger the gap. Multiply is the asterisk. I'm going to go 1.3. Now if we go back to the ellipse, no matter what, the screen will stay full. It'll automatically adjust and add them as it goes. You can go all the way down where there's nothing. Now we'll put stars on top of all those. Click away right about here. Shift space and S star. And shift space and S grid. Merge the grids together. And we'll make the expression again, connect the width and height. Then go to the grid 2. We're going to connect the same ones in this one, the grid cells, to the X and Y offset. 1 divided by X offset. And the bottom one, 1 divided by Y offset. And again, we're going to take the X and the Y offset. We'll connect it to the width and the height of the star. On the X offset, right click on it like I just did. Make an expression and type in S star 1 width. Then you want to go multiply by 1.3 like we did in the first grid. And same thing with the Y offset. Now they're all there the same, but now we'll connect them together. With the star selected, we'll pin that. Select the ellipse. We're going to right click on the height. I'll go to controls. Right away, you can easily do it also. I'm grabbing the pick whip. I'll do it this way to show you. You don't have to have it exposed. Now, if you bring the pick whip up and hover it over the controls, it'll switch over. So if you end up with something like that, that's all you have to do. You can also hover it over this. And we'll do it that way now. Because we're going to rotate these. We have them all lined up now. Up here in orange is our ellipse we're going to connect to. Right click on the angle, expression. Again, you could just type this in if you want. And we'll go back to the ellipse. We can animate these with the angle in the ellipse. I right click, modify width, anim curve. Well, there you go. I hope that helps somebody out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.